Gotcha. Hi, my name is Liz Thompson. I use they, them, their pronouns, and I'm the director at the Office of Equity, Diversity, and Intercultural Programs at the University of Minnesota Morris. I'm here today with fellow colleague Clement Loo, who runs the Summer Gateway program. We wanted to do this Q&A series called EDI Q&A in 20, just to share some information, have people get to know different people on campus, different units on campus, and to hopefully provide some good resources. So, hey, Clement.
Hey Liz, so I'm Clement. I use he/him pronouns, and as you mentioned, I'm the coordinator for the Gateway program, and I also teach environmental studies at the University of Minnesota Morris.
And how long have you been with Gateway? And how long has Gateway been going on at Minnesota Morris?
Yeah, so Gateway's been going on since 1995. So I think this is what the 26th iteration of Gateway. I've been the coordinator. This is my third year being the coordinator. Yeah, I think that those are all the correct numbers.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So it's a very long-standing program at Morris. So can you tell us a little bit about the purpose of Gateway and what it does for our incoming first-year students?
Yeah, so Gateway, I think, actually has like three sort of core purposes. So the first, and I think the most important, is it's there to help incoming first year students build a community, right? So when I talk to incoming students, the thing that they express having the most sort of worries and fears about is whether they'll make friends. Um, and so like what we try to do is help people, you know, make those friends, right? To get to know folks before they're sort of kind of thrown to the wolves of like, the academic year, to have a chance to really get to know a core group of folks that will go with them through their 4 to like 5 or maybe even 6 years here. And when I think back to college, right, like that's what actually stands out, like the friends that I made and the community that I had, right? So uh, I remember going to classes, and I remember the things I learned from those classes, and I remember some of the stuff I did. But what I like, right, the thing that really has had the biggest sort of long-term impact are the people I got to know, right? So like, I'm still best friends with my first year roommate, who I like had not known before, and like initially was like a little like leery about, because he seemed a little weird to me. But now we're still like kind of great friends, 20 something years later. uh and I think it's the friends who really help us define ourselves, right? So like college isn't just about the academic parts. It's also about sort of kind of the self-discovery, the sort of defining ourselves, and like, right, the friends who we make during college help us do that. And that also actually takes me to like sort of the second goal, right? So like, right, that goal for Gateway is to help students learn about the opportunities to become engaged, and to like develop the skills to be most effective while engaged, right? So like, um, sort of the core for what you're doing in college is doing the academic work, but like along with that academic work is also just learning how to be sort of contributing citizen to like the world, right? And taking the theory that you learn in class and then applying it to like real world problems. And the way to practice that is through things like co-curriculars. It's through like working in various offices. It's engaging in research projects. It's doing community engagement. It's doing volunteering. It's doing like things like teaching English as a second language. And so students who are coming in, we want to give them information about the sort of opportunities they have, and then to help them think about like the skills that they need to be good at doing those things, and then to think about how to balance all the sort of the parts of college, right? How to balance the academic part, the social part, and the engagement co-curricular part, because all three of those parts are deeply important. And then that takes me to the last part, which is the academic part. And so Gateway includes some classes which we hope are sort of like a dry run, like a practice, like a dress rehearsal for students before they start doing their classes in the fall. They get a chance to spend 4 weeks doing classes that are very similar to the classes they'll be doing during the regular academic year. And that way they get to like try out their strategies for studying. They get to like think about like how they manage their time. They get to just sort of learn about the academic expectations for college, which will be significantly different than the expectations in high school, right? So I think it gets them the chance to practice that sort of more engaged, self-directed learning that they need to do in college. And so those are sort of the three missions of Gateway, sort of broadly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely sounds very, very comprehensive. You hit on a lot of different things in a short amount of time. Just to clarify, understandably, how you described it as kind of a practice dry run, but the students do earn academic credit, right?
Yeah. So all students who successfully complete Gateway will get a 4 general education credits. So they're just general elective, not general education. I should have said general elective credits. So
Mm.
there's just 4 credits that go to that 120 total that they need to graduate, which allows students to kind of to potentially graduate sooner, or if uh, allows them to take just sort of 4 credits or whatever. So it gives students a little bit more freedom and like how they choose to finish their journey here.
Great. Okay, my next question is, what can students for this summer's Gateway kind of expect? We know that the situation with what's going on is a little bit different, and we've had to basically pivot and modify Gateway, but still, I know you and your peer mentors and your faculty have really risen to the occasion. But can you give us a little snapshot of what they can expect since we will be doing Gateway online this year?
Yeah, so it's not going to be completely online. So Gateway this year is going to be sort of a fun kind of grand experiment on like thinking about how education happens in the 21st century. So we're going to have sort of a hybrid program. So the 4 weeks where we traditionally would have Gateway as being sort of a really intensive residential program during the summer, this year that 4 week chunk is going to be online. And so during that time, what the students will be doing is they'll be doing their courses. So they'll be taking, depending on their major and their placement scores, will be doing either a stats class or an algebra class. And then so they'll be doing those online asynchronously, but they'll also be doing a writing class, which will be online, but I think that's going to be more synchronous, where they'll be doing Zoom sessions or other sort of live sessions with the instructors, and then uh, right learning what it means to like sort of write and express oneself in sort of the the college level. And then the last class we'll be doing is a psychology class, which is a version of our reclaiming happiness psychology class. That's going to be cool, right? It'll be a little bit about like clinical psychology, but it's also a little bit about just how to thrive at college or just kind of thrive at life, right? It's a class on wellness and self care, but right thinking about it, both as like a practitioner and as just sort of an adult that needs to be responsible for their own self care. And so we'll be doing that, and then we'll also have some online content to teach students about some of the key service offices on campus. So like they'll have some sessions with One Stop, who's sort of in charge of, which is sort of the people that they would most likely contact to deal with things with like registration and their classes or their majors and minors, their programs, and their financial aid stuff. So they'll have some sessions with that. They'll also have some content about opportunities to be involved in like community engagement and like sustainability, which are like 2 kind of major things that happen on our campus. Um, and uh, I think that's sort of the core content over the summer. And then in the fall, we're going to have some of our more in-person content, right? So we'll be having group coaching meetings. That will be, depending on what programs the students qualify for, either with me or with one of the mentors from the Trio SSS program, or some of the mentors from the NAS program. And we'll also have some more fun things. So we're going to have some social events. We're going to have some trips, hopefully. We'll see what the world looks like in a few months. But if it's possible, I'd like to be able to like help take the students off campus to do some exploring around the region, because there's a lot of kind of fun things that people can do around here that I think people don't realize until like, they've been here for a while. And so I'd like to get a head start and just let them I guess benefit from the experience of like myself and the mentors who've like learned where some of the fun things are around here. but we want to do things safely. So like if it's safe to do that, we will do that. If it's not safe to do that, we will find safe, fun things to do more locally. Oh, and I also forgot, over the summer too, it's not just all going to be work. The students will get to know their mentors. So like all students this year will be will be assigned to groups with like 2 peer mentors. And those peer mentors will do some sort of academic guidance thing as working as like tutors, but they'll also be running and helping the students organize themselves to have like social programming. I don't know exactly what that looked like because I'm leaving that up to the peer mentors because uh, I think if a 40-year-old like professor tries to think about what are the fun things for students to do, it's not going to be very fun. So I'm going to leave that to the peer mentors who are actual students who are maybe just a year or two ahead and have a more similar sense of like what's a good time. And so it's going to be we're going to have much of the components that we would have in a normal year. They'll just be more distributed, and some of it will be online. And so it's going to be a fun program, and I think it's going to be a fun experiment on like how to do these sort of things uh, given the current situation.
Yeah, yeah, thanks. And I think just, is there anything else as we kind of wrap up here? Is there anything else that you'd like to offer or let the incoming students know?
Yeah, so uh, I think it's just I'd like to welcome them all to the University of Minnesota Morris and let them know how excited I am to meet them all, um, and that I've been talking to the peer mentors and to like all the faculty and staff that are involved in Gateway, and everybody's really excited for this year and to get to know everybody, and uh, I'm sure they're gonna have a good time and they'll learn a lot. So that's pretty
Great.
much it.
Yeah, excellent. Well, thanks, Clement, for sharing and spending some time with us. And we will put Clement's information in the closing slide. And if anyone has any other further questions or concerns, you can find out more information uh, with EDI's website as well as other social media. And we hope that you'll continue to look at the series and kind of get to know some of our University of Minnesota Morris units and offices and programs and folks in a more intimate way. So I echo Clement's excitement and enthusiasm. We hope to see you and get to know everyone soon. And yeah, so have a great rest of the day and take care.